Okay, I just wanted to give you guys this quick revelation that God gave me. So it's coming from Proverbs 13 and 12, and it's the whole scripture of that is hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. That's the whole scripture, but I want to focus on the first part. So I want to break down hope, defer, and sick. So hope means to cherish a desire with anticipation, to want something to happen or to be true. Deferred means withheld for or until a stated time. But there's three different definitions they gave me for sick, and I just want to let you guys know what these are. The first one is incapable of producing profitable yields of crop, depressed or longing for something, or the third one, spiritually or morally unsound or corrupt. Okay, so now that we have an understanding of the hope deferred makes the heart sick, we have an understanding of those three terms. And so I was talking to God about relationships. So he gave me his revelation about something, and I just wanted to run it across you guys. So a lot of times, oftentimes, we don't understand that a lot of hurt and pain from the childhood, broken relationships, things you observed that you brought to a conclusion is something that could be hindering you in your present. I know a lot of women who were kind of like me, like they're players, dog eat dog world. You know, basically, you a man in a woman's body. Your mindset is, and so I know a lot of women who are like that. I used to be like that. But I recognize that sometimes you become like that because of a pattern that you saw. And a lot of times that is a result of hope deferred, making the heart sick. So you became something to prevent something. But even in protecting yourself, you don't realize that you grow a part of you for a layer of protection, but you abort who you really are, or who God really wanted or intended you to be. For example, I'm a transparent person, so I don't mind telling the truth. You know, when a woman becomes that dog eat dog world and she begins to live her life the way she lives her life, she aborts her intimate side. She aborts the side of her that can really be that nurturing piece. And people may think, well, no, I love my people. I love my people. I love my family. I show love to my girls. I show love to my kids, or I show love to my dogs or my pets. I show love, but you don't realize that just because you have the ability to show love or to be loving and kind towards people, it does not mean that you reserve that part for a man when he comes, because you're so used to seeing that person as an opponent. You're so used to seeing that person as a challenge that you can't see them as somebody you could be intimate and vulnerable with. When you have an opponent, you don't necessarily see them as a person that you can be vulnerable with. And so that goes back to saying hope deferred makes the heart sick, because you may feel like, well, I'm a loving, kind, cool, laughing, joking person. Like, I have all the components, I have all the qualities. But it's not until a person really begins to open up themselves to you and you realize, I cannot reciprocate what you're trying to give to me, because I cannot perceive you as that. I cannot perceive you as a intimate person. I cannot perceive what you're saying to me. I cannot internalize. I understand it. I hear what you're saying, but I cannot connect with it, because there's a wall there. And that's why when you go through healing and deliverance, there is a process that you have to go through of breaking down those walls and breaking down those demonic covenants and legalities that you made, because you don't realize that when you say certain things, the agreements you make and the hindrance you make. So I just think it's important that we all recognize that we're just all here going through different layers. Nobody arrives. We all go through life going through different layers and processes. You're just going to go through a continual process. So I just be attentive as you're in your single season, as God leads you, because God is the one who's going to lead you to those moments. But as God leads you, as he unravels things and reveal them to you, pay attention to where you became sick. And I gave you the three definitions of sick in the beginning. So pay attention to where you became sick. Ask God to reveal to you where it first began with you, because sometimes we may look at people as opponents and as a trigger, but behind that is something that started it from the very beginning. And God has to take you back to that place where it all started, where the pain in the womb first grew. First, the scab first came to show you this is where it all started. And that person may have triggered you, but this was a pain that was always here. As you go through the healing and deliverance process, pay attention to the undertones. The undertones are the things that you're actually responding to. Those are things that your actions, your heart posture, your mindset are responding to. The undertones are the things that was imparted into you when you was going through situations, breakups, or you was witnessing things, or you was experiencing hurt and pain. A lot of times we go through stuff and we just be like, it is what it is. It happened. Let's move on. I don't care. You brush it under the rug, but just because you put it away does not mean it left. It's just sitting there, and it's having the right and the authority to operate through your heart, through your feelings, through your emotions, through your relationships, because you never dealt with it. So pay attention to the undertones, because your undertones is your why. Your undertones is the ingredients to why you do the things you do. And when you shift, it'll shift. I love you guys. It's the final one. Bye.